Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Michigan Cannabis Industry Association podcast, the CannaCast. I am Ida Pearlie, the Deputy Director, and today with me, I have Jim Connor.
Thank you.
How are you doing, Jim?
Good.
Thank you for joining us
Yeah,
today.
glad to.
You had quite a drive,
Yeah, it's about an hour and 45 minutes.
and you're from Muskegon?
Muskegon.
An hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for making the trek
No,
down here.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, you're located in Muskegon.
Correct. My grow is in Muskegon, just off. It's on Commerce and Laketon.
Okay.
So, yep, right in the heart of the district.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the name of your grow is called MJ Verdant.
MJ Verdant. Yep.
Okay. How did you, we're going to kind of skip around a little bit, but how did you come up with that name?
So it's a good story. My wife's mom passed away of breast cancer when she was quite young, 37, and her name was Mary Jane.
Mm.
And so my wife wanted to kind of honor mom a little bit. And so we worked that into the name. And then because she used cannabis back in the day when it was kind of frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
But then verdant means lush and green. So we just kind of put those two together and kind of has a good ring to it. So we voted on it as a group and it stuck. So that's what
I love that. And what a way to honor her
Yeah.
and her legacy. That's really,
it's
that's
cool.
special. That's
It's
awesome.
a good talking point when we share it because everyone asks that where'd that come from? So it's got a good backstory.
Right. Because you yourself, you personally don't use cannabis.
I just for pleasure here and there, but not from a medical
Okay.
side of things. No.
Right. Okay. What was your background before you got into the cannabis industry?
So I was 30 years in commercial construction.
Oh my goodness.
So
okay.
I
Did you own your own company?
Nope. I was a COO for a couple of big companies.
Mm-hmm.
Managed about $150 million a year in construction.
Wow.
And just kind of worked in that model and the developer model and in a lot of design build projects. So when it became time to do our project, it was really fun because I got to pull on a lot of different experience from my career building different types of buildings, ER rooms, battery plants, clean rooms, water plants, schools, labs. So I just kind of brought all that knowledge together, and now we grow cannabis.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's back up. How did you make the transition from, because construction is quite different from cannabis.
Oh, yeah.
There's no comparison really.
No, but the regulatory side of things and the rules, safety and all that sort of thing, it's so process driven, very much so.
Oh,
so when you think of a construction site and the amount of safety that you have to do, so following rules, regulation, MiCIA inspections, that type of thing, was kind of the right side of my brain to be using to think about, the regulations we got to follow on the grow side. So that part was somewhat easy to implement. Understanding how to grow plants, I'm not your guy. I'm a quick study, my guys would tell you, but I have a grow team. That's their area of expertise. And a lot of our employees, they come from the black market. I mean, really, that's one place you get experience to know how to grow cannabis.
Right.
Nothing against ag students from Michigan State or other places, but they just don't have 20 years of growing cannabis. So knowing the ins and outs of that is key, and our grow team does that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we merged together a grow team and then listened to them what they needed, and then taking my partner too, Steve, he's in construction as well, or was, and just kind of bring those two things together and built our world-class facility.
Wow. Yeah. That's exciting. So whose idea was it to get into cannabis?
It's another funny story. It wasn't mine. My brother-in-law had the idea. Well, a couple of his good friends are part of our grow team now, and wanted to better understand where and how to change some zoning rules and et cetera, et cetera. And this is in Grand Rapids initially. And he knew I knew a lot of people there that would be able to help. And just my experience from being in construction, how do you get zoning changes to build this type of building versus that, and so on. And
kind of the inside scoop a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but trying to help him get through it. And we learned that it was going to be difficult. One from just getting pre-qualified, the amount of money it takes, the background checks, that process is tedious. And back then it was a joke almost. But anyway, I just got more and more interested in it, and then really kind of putting the business model. When you go back 4 or 5 years, business model was very, very different than is the one today.
Yes, you're correct.
But it kind of really got me fired up about it. And I was 30 years in construction. I was tired. It was a cutthroat industry. Not that I did step into another cutthroat industry, But it really wasn't as much fun as it used to be.
Right.
And I was just looking to do something different. And I was really inspired by the Wild West of it all, like, forging into a new space and just wanting to take my business practice and my partner to how we could take that and really turn it into something cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is I think both Steve and I, my partner, Steve Reeser is his name, felt like we could help the guys that have been shorted for a long time in this industry. We could help make something really cool and exciting for them.
Yeah.
My guys, they have a checkered past. Most all of them. We help 2 guys get their record cleaned up and expunge some things.
That's awesome.
Most of our guys have a lengthy criminal record, and they show up to work every day on time. They're smiling. They love getting a paycheck. They don't feel like they're looking over the shoulder anymore, and they're still getting to do what
they're
they
contributing
really
to
love to do.
society.
Absolutely.
They're
They're
receiving
paying
a paycheck.
taxes.
Yeah.
That
has to feel empowering.
It does.
I can't even imagine.
It does. It's really cool. And the other thing we did was one of our main things of getting into this. We were going to pay a living wage, and we offer benefits.
Oh, nice.
So our staff all get medical. If you're single, we cover all the expenses. So they get medical, dental, and vision, and they got a life insurance policy to go with it.
Wow.
So we just felt that was a way to a lot of these guys that weren't able to get a real job, and because of the records, we were able to kind of just level that out a bit. So we feel good about it. I got guys that haven't been to the dentist in a very long time.
Oh my
They
goodness.
go to the dentist now.
And you don't even think about stuff like that. Again, hindsight's 2020, but when you're in the thick of it, like you just don't think about healthcare or dentists or the mundane everyday things that we are trivial.
Yeah. And for most of us, that's just expected and you have it. It's
Right.
So
we turn on the hot water and there's hot water.
Exactly. So that was important to us. And I can tell you, watching some of our staff, like, take care of ailments that they've had for a long time. Guy that had a hernia for like 3 years. Couldn't afford to get it taken care of.
I'm gonna start crying. That
so
just warms my heart.
But that's good. I mean,
yeah.
That's part of who we are. And the team's a great team. They work kind of as a family. We have our issues. I think everyone does, like every good family.
Right?
Yeah. But in general, everyone works well together. They respect one another, and that's all I can ask for.
That's awesome. It sounds like you have a really good team.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and you're taking care of them.
Yeah,
which is
that means something to us. So
definitely, yeah. Well, then it helps them, want to invest in your company.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They show up to work and they know the rules.
They're taken care of. Yeah, that's awesome, Jim.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So what type of flower do you grow? What's your favorite strain?
So my favorite strain is Cherry Garcia.
Cherry Garcia.
Yeah. Yep, that one for me, because I don't want to hit the couch too hard.
Okay.
I want to be able to function. So, and I'm not a heavy cannabis user myself, so I got to figure some of this stuff out yet.
Right.
But we're really trying to promote a lot of our custom strains that nobody else has. So Rabbit Hole is one of them.
What strains did you bring with us today?
I don't know. I grabbed just a handful. This is Rabbit Hole here.
Oh, nice.
This is a little bit of a heavy hitter. Then we have Jade, Serpentine, Green Sapphire, and Peridot.
Oh, wow.
And those are all named after green gemstones.
Yes.
The whole idea.
I like that.
But those are all custom strains that have been crossed, and only we have them. So we're trying to maybe have something unique to our name and our brand that you're only going to get through us. And
nice.
So that's kind of fun.
Okay. And then what flower? Is the flower the same? This is Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, this is Rabbit Hole.
I want to smell Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, I didn't. There's none.
King Louis.
I
haven't heard of that one either.
Yeah. So, these are just some of our better strains. I guess. The thing that we like to do too with transparency is on the top here we put barcodes.
Oh, so what's the barcode?
So the barcode, you can scan this barcode. It will take you to our website and to our test results page. And then on the bottom, you would look for your harvest date and match it up to the test result for that harvest date.
Oh, that's super cool.
And it's the full test report. So you get to see the terpenes, the total cannabinoids, THC,
It's probably everything. More than what you can fit on the little.
Oh yeah. It's 5 pages of information. It's the full report. So it's not just like 5 line items. So read the whole report. I got nothing to hide.
Wow. I like that. That's
I think it matters. I think for a lot of the consumers today, they they don't know anything about cannabis. I mean,
Right.
now that it's legal, they're actually, oh, I'll try it, because most people don't have a guy that
Right.
they were buying it illegally from. So, but they really don't know anything about it.
Mhm.
So we spent a lot of time on our website, we were at blogs trying to educate the average consumer, the new consumer, I think,
Mhm.
on what is a terpene, what is THC, what should you look for in flower. And that's just another layer of transparency to help them understand that and see, what is it that I just bought?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Not a range, not a this or that.
Mhm.
Exactly how did the test results come back?
Yeah, and I love that, because you just said there's nothing to hide.
Our motto from the get-go was to just grow exceptional, clean, pure cannabis.
Mhm.
Period. That's that. And if we're going to do that, we can show the test results.
Right.
If it doesn't make that cut, then we don't sell it anyway.
Yeah, and so your shirt, you've got some of your strains on here too?
Yeah, we just tried to make it like a concert series that you'd see all the dates kind of thing, but that's just all the strains, and there's more, but it's what fit on the shirt.
No, that's super cool. And I love the logo. I mean, I know that, you said, how you came up with the name, but the logo, I mean, it's simple. It's a leaf,
Yeah.
but still, how was that process for you?
So we went with, I wanted it to have an industrial strong look. I didn't want it to be bubble letters and crazy colors and all that, because I'm not a fan of that. To me, it looks
Cartoony,
like
kinda.
cartoony. And some will tell me you're crazy for not doing that because that's what sells. But I'm like, we inspired to be above that kind of fray. We wanted it to look professional, maybe even a little more medical side of things, and be attractive that way.
Right.
And so we went with that crisper font, and then we really kind of stole a little bit of that Harley Davidson kind of mentality of their logo and kind of a shield look,
Yeah,
like a belt buckle look almost. So
okay,
that's where some of that came from, and then with the leaf, and there was just
I think it's
subtle, but
yeah, right, it's sweet and to the point.
yeah, exactly. Because just when you say MJ Verdant, you don't know, that could be a law firm, an accounting office,
right?
And that's what that looked like originally, was that on itself.
Oh, okay.
So then when we added the leaf in there,
right.
We try to use both appropriately, mix it up a little bit.
And what does Verdant mean again?
Green and lush.
Green and lush. I love that. Yeah, it just is a full circle.
Yeah, just kind of but it's also great because everyone asks, what does that mean?
Right.
You got to study our Latin and English words better.
That's cute.
And I didn't know it. My wife found it. She Googled it and smashed the
Yeah.
together, so.
Well, and that great minds think alike. I mean, that's
what I was told at that point.
Right. That's cute. What does a typical day look like for you?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's long days. Kind of running a new business that has ever-changing policy, ever-changing rules, ever-changing conditions in our facility. It's just a lot of juggling, spinning plates, and just trying to stay ahead of issues.
Right.
Plants, you would think growing in an absolutely controlled environment would be somewhat easy.
You would think, right?
It is not. That is a false fallacy there. But we have a great process, and just refining a lot of our SOPs and getting team members all doing things the same.
Okay.
That's been a little bit of a challenge because, like I said, I got a lot of guys that have been growing, but they all been growing independently their way.
Right.
And for us to do it one way, it takes a lot of melding of minds. And we've changed the process around over the last year and a half. And I think we got things refined really good now that everyone does it the same.
Nice.
Because the whole idea is to have a repeatable product.
Exactly.
I can't have Cherry Garcia in one room, outperform the Cherry Garcia in the other room, and then try to sell them as the same.
There's a reason McDonald's is successful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to be able to repeat it. And,
exactly.
And we're pretty sophisticated in our grow. We track a lot of data so that if we, if you found the cure to cancer, you better know how you did it. Right.
Right.
So if we find the secret sauce to growing exceptional cannabis, let's not forget how we actually did it. And so we have a lot of data that we track day by day, hour by hour, just to see. So
okay,
yeah, come to the grow. We'll take.
I will. Yeah, I know we were trying
to
get that scheduled.
Yeah.
Definitely. Can you tell me what is your mission?
To grow just really pure, clean cannabis.
Okay.
I mean, our idea is just to be first class, top of class on everything we do. When we first started too, I jokingly said, I want to be MRE's poster child in the sense that I want to do everything right. You know, these laws got passed to allow this to happen for a reason. So let's embrace that idea and do it right, and really turn out exceptional cannabis. And that's what we're doing.
Well, and you coming from the construction background said it's pretty similar as far as the, you know, the stringent as far as the regulations go. So you, in a way, were already primed, you know, coming into this industry.
Yeah.
What did licensing look like for you?
It was miserable. And it, you know, and the thing was, this is when Steve and I came together and our partnership was formed, and we went through the background check. We both had squeaky clean backgrounds. We're good guys who did, you know, never got in any trouble, paid our taxes, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
DUIs, nothing. We were squeaky clean. It still took forever. And part of it was under the old administration.
Okay.
You know, so we can blame that. But it took us probably 18 months from the time we submitted our application to get our pre-approval.
Okay.
And then, of course, that whole time you had to go find your municipality if you didn't have that all worked out. And we probably spent too much time dinking around in Grand Rapids. You know, looking back now, I should have just cut ties there sooner, but that's where we really wanted to be, because we were going to open a dispo too at the same time. So I wanted to be in that larger market.
Right.
But when we got fed up there and we looked at Muskegon, we found a building right away, and just then it was go, 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 go.
That's awesome. It all just kind of came together and worked.
It worked well then. But you know, we hit the market at a tough time because we got our license a year ago, March. So our first crops were coming down this time last year.
Oh my goodness.
So we launched our first harvests in October of last year.
Oh, wow.
So it just kind of bad timing. And then we waited for the first of the year because everything's going to get better. And then you look at our market today. So it's been a tough go. It's not, I'm not going to lie, but I'm thankful we built an efficient building. So I think we're ahead of the curve.
And how were you able to guide yourself with the construction? As far, because you said, didn't you go out to California or not? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah. So my partner and I went to Colorado. We toured a few different grows out there.
Okay.
And really quizzed them on what works well, what doesn't. And when we just saw how the building was built and the technology they were using, he and I were able to easily kind of formulate what process we wanted to do and what systems we wanted to use in building types. So
nice.
And we just built, it looks like a laboratory.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone wears a fresh set of scrubs when they show up to work every day. They leave their shoes there, and you know, so you look like a bunch of doctors walking around tending to patients you plant. So
right. Well, I mean, you want to keep it as clean as possible. Yeah.
It's important.
No contaminants.
You are creating the perfect growing environment, and that means for the stuff you don't want to grow too. So,
right.
Keeping things clean is important.
I'm sure it's a challenge too. Yeah.
So it's a full-time job.
Right. My goodness. What are the 4 pillars of your company?
So
I was reading through them and I was really impressed.
Yeah. So I call it the 4 Ps.
Okay.
So plants, obviously we want to grow the best plants we can. We talked about that several times. People, we think our people are going to make it. Steve and I, they won't even let us touch the plants. That's how passionate
these are our babies.
That is theirs. The planet, you know, we built a very efficient building, a lot of LEDs. We went to the chiller system and just kind of made things very efficient. So in water conservation, trying to just be responsible to that, and the use of our nutrients, the runoff, etc. And then profits. I mean, we're not going to lie. We're all in this business to make money.
Right.
But we also have a plan to be able to give back and support our community too. So, and we just call it the 4 Ps, and those are the 4.
I love that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it just goes to show your integrity. You know, I mean, you have to try to set yourself apart, you know, from everyone else. And it sounds like you're definitely.
We're trying hard.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, we want to give back to the community that like opened up to this market. They're stretching.
Right.
You know, it wasn't always favorable for all of them.
Right.
And so I think trying to be a good steward and show the rest of the general public that this is a legitimate business. This isn't what you probably think it is.
Right.
And if we operate like that and it's seen like that, I think we can change the minds of a lot of other people that are doubting it. And that's really what I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's really commendable. It just, again, you're bringing your core values into your business, and the success of it.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
it works.
Absolutely. What's next on the horizon for you?
Well, I hope the market comes back because
Mhm.
we would really like to finish building out processing
Okay.
and then a lab, and then eventually probably get into a dispo somewhere.
Mm.
I think being vertically integrated is a huge advantage
Mhm.
for the whole thing to work
Right.
and become the most efficient. But man, it's tough right now.
Yeah.
And with the amount of grows that there are and how that's all coming down the supply, and even the labs are struggling for what the market is. They're not necessarily killing it. All right, dispensaries, way back when we got started, they were hurting because they couldn't get flour.
Mhm.
Now they're able to buy flour very cheap. So,
Right.
but I do think there's some oversaturation in Muskegon. There's a lot of dispos in that town. I think there's up to 19.
Goodness.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah.
I don't think they're all going to make it, unfortunately.
Right.
It's pretty cutthroat. So
definitely
I think
separate the players for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think we need more dispensaries across the state. I think that they need to be spread out a little bit more. But it gets tough with the population basis, right? I mean,
demographics is huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to just say you need to open one in random northern Michigan because there's not one. It's got to be able to support itself.
Right.
So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, definitely.
We're probably going to try to work more into some other products that we can have. So we have our pre-rolls here. We have all hash infused pre-rolls that we just got it back today.
Okay.
So we're trying to offer some other ideas there and really just focus on growing our brand and with the flower. And I kind of want to do a seasonal thing too, kind of like Oberon. I think that would be fun to have.
Fun. I love that idea.
If you had, let's just pick rabbit hole because it's right here. If I have a limited crop and I really have a release date and it's gone,
right.
You won't get it till next year again.
Right.
And I think that could be a fun idea for us. So we're working on a couple of
kind of like a little play on a sale in a way, but making it like a special feature.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
And the beer companies have done it and
they do it all the time.
Yeah. And when you think about our industry, and I use this model a lot to talk about it, is we should follow what the microbreweries did. I mean, we're very similar in that regard. A lot of different strains, a lot of different, brews that they have.
Right.
And so why try to recreate everything?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what they say, don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah,
It's already here.
Yeah, it rolls just fine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What, now I know you've just opened up and you've got some social equity in the works. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yeah. So we partnered with the Boys and Girls Club in Muskegon. And so, we really feel that was a good place to start giving back. And especially in Muskegon, it's got a pretty tough neighborhood there.
Is it?
So we thought that made the most sense for us in trying to just get our team excited about it. We kind of let them in on it, and that's the vote kind of leaned that way.
Yeah.
And we just thought that was going to be make the most sense. So, hopefully we can get some things turned around and do something special for that group.
That's exciting. I mean, again, it's just community involvement is what it's all about. Yeah. That's awesome.
You got to give back.
Right.
It can't just all be take. So as much as you want it to be, it doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah.
But my wife also reached out to a few of the local neighborhood associations, and she'll go talk to them when they have little meetings and educate them on what happens in that big black and white building there on our street. Because they don't know.
Right.
And I think just educating people what's really going on is going to help.
It is super important because again, we're still breaking down those stigmas.
Absolutely.
And it still blows my mind that there's still some people who just are so adamant against it. And it's like, okay, thank you. But how can you say no for everyone else? Yeah. That's your opinion. That's your personal view.
I'm older. I grew up in the Nancy Reagan days of just say no to drugs and that whole campaign. It was being programmed in our heads. Right. And, I get it. I understood that was what it was at the time. But I've also seen how it helps people. My stepdad, he unfortunately lost both of his legs and he had a lot of anxiety and pain and couldn't sleep. And, not that he was looking to get stoned every night, but, just a little bit of a quality. Yes. He's able to function a lot different. It changed his life.
Wow.
I have another friend that unfortunately has cancer currently.
Mhm.
The only way he's getting through radiation is through our product.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, just seeing that, how it helps,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny it.
Right.
So you don't want to, people don't want to admit to it, but they can't deny it. So that's
Yeah.
good for us. And we need to continue to tell that story and share those stories.
Right.
So I think that's a lot of fun.
What does it mean to you to actually be able to bring cannabis into your community and supply it to patients?
It's awesome. I mean,
Did you ever
I don't
think
even
you'd be doing this?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely not. We always joke about that. So 15 years ago, did you think you were going to own a weed shop? No, I didn't. But we do, and I love it. I have fun every day. It's exciting again. The other thing I'll tell you is in construction, I had all different types of guys working for us.
I can imagine.
And I can also tell you, I've experienced guys that drank too much every night, and when they came to work in the day, they just weren't worth much.
Right.
They were hungover, they were sick. Production was not good. But I can also tell you, many of our employees show up to work every day on time, and they're ready to work. And I know they had a lot of fun last night.
Right.
So it just it goes to show a little bit that the two stigmas, if you really look at the facts, I could change your mind quickly with the truth and real data.
Right.
It's amazing to me. You should try it if you haven't.
I know, right? It's funny, just the mindset and mentality sometimes that, just trying to break down. And
we haven't even talked about, because I know that's still got a little bit of a stigma to it, is how it helps kids in seizures and just other things and ailments that they have. And, I can't wait for them to really get moving on that, partnering with different medical institutions, labs, and, hospitals and universities that just start really breaking it down.
Right.
The fallacy that you're getting your kids stoned it's not the case.
It's about a quality of life.
And just helping that out is going to be, I can't wait. I want to be part of that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting.
Wow. Good things are coming.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you see what Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims with Primitive, I think that's outstanding. I mean, I want to support that with them because I think that's really one of the bigger focuses why we were getting into this business ourselves, was we wanted to really emphasize the medical side in front of the rec side.
Right.
Because I just think that has the better place, the better story to tell too.
Yeah. Well, it's bringing awareness and helping those understand they have choices.
Yeah.
And it's not, if your pharmaceuticals aren't working for you, guess what? You have a choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of our guys who went and got medical things done, they get sent home with painkillers. They don't even take them. They have their own way of coping and dealing.
Oh yeah.
And I just, they're like, no, the doctor keeps pushing these on us. And I'm like, good for you, man. Like we all have choices, and this is another option to that choice. So yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I think when I first met you, well, we met before the summer annual, but you came up to the summer annual.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I was blown away. That was a lot of fun. I can't wait till the next one. Not to rush it too much, but no, that was a ton of fun. I thought, getting so many like-minded people together to talk about it, and just share ideas and network and just hang out was awesome.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to bring more of my team with us next year.
Awesome.
Knowing what it is now.
Yeah.
But I think we just need to continue to build that collaboration to strengthen our industry. And our professional organization too needs to grow with it. So more activity from the members. This allows you guys to do more work and on our behalf and for our cause. So I think you just got to keep working at it. It's the Wild West. It's new. And there isn't a rule book to follow. So let's make it. Yeah.
So what made you actually want to become members of the association?
So not to lie, Connie Sparrow twisted my arm a little bit. But she really opened my eyes to it more than anything. It really kind of gave me the backstory.
Right.
And then I think, like I said, I believe in what we do and really trying to figure out where do I want to invest my time and dollars for an organization that's looking out for us on our behalf.
Right.
And making sure that things line up. I mean, other organizations don't match, our methodology and how we want to run our business and what we want to produce for our end users. And I think just making sure that alignment's there is important. And I think I want an organization that wants to push back on on the rules and regulatory things that need changing.
Right.
Never was any place going to get it right on the first try. We all, we can be mad about it, but we need to understand that just isn't how it happens.
Right. Right.
The fact we got as much as we did is probably pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's time for us to hold their feet to the fire and fix the things that need fixing and improve on other things that they didn't get in there. So yeah, I think that's, for me, that's what made MiCIA, I think. So
yeah, well, we're, glad that you're members and we love supporting you. And
thank you.
I can't wait to come out and tour your grow.
You need to come. Yeah.
So how many stores are you in, your products?
Oh geez, over 50 probably.
Nice. Okay.
And it changes. You know how it goes. Like one dispos on, and they order, and then no more. So
right.
The other guy got in there and sold it for cheaper, or something else changed or whatever. But no, our guys are on the road just constantly trying to keep moving our product and expanding into new markets, but taking care of the customers that buy from us now too. I want to make sure that when they do call, I can't be out. So trying to make sure we offer good variety and move from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're clearly doing something right, and you have a strong, medical brand that you're, absolutely. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. I enjoyed, sitting down and chatting with you for a minute and get to know you,
Yeah.
your company, and
appreciate